Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome back. This is Solid Dave Snake, continuing my Halloween reviews on the Marvel Select Zombies. And in this review, we're going to take a look at the Zombie Hulk action figure. And again, huge thank you to David Ceballero, great friend over at the Walking Dead Action Figures and Memorabilia Facebook group, as well as the Star Wars Action Figures and Memorabilia Facebook group, for sending these out to me to be able to review for everybody today. Thank you, David, and thank you from all my subscribers as well. So let's get right into taking a look at Zombie Hulk's packaging here. Just like with the Zombie Spider-Man, we get a little portrait of Zombie Hulk here in this kind of green hologram sticker. And of course, get his readout on the side. And on this side of the packaging, we get an awesome profile of Zombie Hulk. And then on the back, we have the cover that he was featured on, as well as the other Marvel Select Zombie action figures you can pick up. And then his little bio here. If you want to pause that and give it a read, you're more than welcome to. And part of the window display here. And then back to the front, which I'll give you a little closer look before we crack them open. Of course, he comes with part of that Silver Surfer base, and he is definitely the biggest Marvel Select Zombie released thus far. So alright everyone, let's crack this action figure open and take a better look. Zombie Hulk is now unleashed, and he is awesome. But before we take a closer look at him, let's take a look at the base piece that he comes with, which it does fit in theme with all the other base pieces from this first Marvel Zombie set, where you can connect all of them and make one big display with the Silver Surfer getting ripped apart from the end of that first Marvel Zombie storyline, when all the hero zombies and villain zombies rip apart the Silver Surfer. And the detail on it is fantastic, especially with all the concrete textured detail in here, with little pieces of rubble and these real big pieces of rubble in this base piece. Came out really nice. Looks great. A lot of textured detail in there. And the section with the Silver Surfer head, I really love how it came out. And the actual headpiece here is actually sculpted into the rest of this cosmic energy type sculpting. And just like with the base piece that came with the Zombie Spider-Man, this is that same flexible, translucent kind of blue, clear plastic. And the Silver Surfer head, it's sculpted in there and just painted on like that, which I love how that came out with him screaming. Looks great. And towards the tips of this cosmic energy, it gets a little more clear. So that was a great effect. And with the little black speckles throughout as well. And you can really notice how it gets more clear on this piece running outward. And like I said, you can interconnect all these bases. Get a focus in here once I connect it, but they all slide into each other with these little pegs on one piece of the base and corresponding notch on the other. So that's turning out pretty nice, and we'll take a look at the final base in the Captain America zombie review. And now for Zombie Hulk himself. And he is massive. He is definitely the biggest Marvel Select Zombie that has been made to date. And just to give you a little comparison, we'll pull up the Zombie Spider-Man, put them side by side just to show you how big this guy is. So I always love it when action figures are big like this. Just feels like you get a little more bang for your buck. And his sculpt is phenomenal. May be my favorite sculpt in this first wave. And he's so massive I have to hold him up here sideways. Give you a good look at his face sculpt. Which I love how that mouth came out. All tore up around the lips. Just have those teeth exposed. And let me try to get the light in closer on his face. There we go. You can see that nice gore detail on his cheeks and jawline. And they widened his eyes out. So that came out really good. Little zombified look around his eye sockets. And even little tiny details like veins bulging out of his forehead. Hair came out nice as well. So I love that head sculpt. And the body is really well done. A lot of different sculpted detail throughout. And they kind of have this almost red wash going on to fill in those holes. Because you can see a little red throughout all these cracks along his chest. And there are a couple mismatched spots, like right up here. Red should be a little more up on mine. And his arms do have gore detail on them as well, especially on the upper portions. Not so much the lower. On this side, right around the wrist, we get a little exposed flesh. But the muscular of the arms, they just did a great job sculpting that in with the veins bulging out throughout the bicep. Just a great Hulk sculpt. Same thing with the back. And you can kind of see how they just splotched on red on some of these spots. Doesn't even look like a wound on this one. But his back is massive and very hunched over. Almost like a hunchback type Hulk. A little more exposed flesh up top. But I'm just really impressed with this overall sculpt. Looks great. I don't know if these are supposed to be bullet holes on his backside, but we have a big open wound right here. And then his pants. They made them really ripped here at the top, especially on the front side. His hands came out nice as well. Not really any damage detail on his hands. His left being closed-fisted and his right being open. Sure you could fit some gut accessories in there from some action figure. That would look pretty good. And the purple pants. There's no wounds down below, but they are ripped up. A little bit on the back side. A couple tears on the right leg. Inside of the left. And down below the knee, of course, we get the big tear. With his muscles bulging out. And big Hulk toes. Which his feet are not damaged at all. Not zombified at all. And we get no peg holes on the bottom of these first Marvel Select zombies. So overall, this may be my favorite sculpt. Just a lot of detail on this oversized Hulk. However, his articulation leaves a lot to be desired, but a lot of these first Marvel Selects didn't have that much articulation. However, instead of just a ball joint at the head, which he does have, he also has a hinge. So you can have him pretty much looking straight down. And back to this position. So that's really nice movement there. And he does have the ball joint and hinge at the shoulders, which will rotate all the way around. However, I cannot get mine to hinge whatsoever. It feels like it's going to snap. And I've even tried heating it up with a hairdryer, and it just does not want to budge. So there is a hinge there. There's movement to be gotten from it, but I could not get it. So I could not tell you how far that hinge is up. But it is there. I just couldn't get mine to move. And the hinge on his elbow is working on mine, which you can surprisingly get it up to about 90 degrees. And back straight. and rotate it all the way around if you wish. However, he does only have a cut at both wrists, but you can get full rotation out of him. And he does have a cut at the waist, which once again you can get full rotation out of it. And here are the upper legs. There is another hinge, but once again I cannot get it to move, just like in the shoulders, and I don't want to force it with this figure, but I can get him to kick up. It doesn't kick up as high as the Spider-Man, but it will go up that high and back straight on both sides. And at the knees, he will surprisingly go back a really good ways, almost to 90 degrees, and back straight. And you can rotate it all the way around. And at the foot, it looks a little deceiving. There's only a hinge here. It looks like it may have a rocker, but it does not. It will only hinge back this far and this far up on both sides. So a little limited on articulation, but this Hulk figure is just going to stand out on the display stand like this. He looks great as is. You don't need to get too much articulation out of him, really. So, alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed this review, and stay tuned because we're going to take a look at Zombie Captain America next.